Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randirhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man. The fall.
We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
It's time to expose the crooked media deceptions and to challenge the media for their role in fomenting divisions. And yes, by the way, they are trying to take away our history and our heritage. You see that?
Oh, God.
And I say it, and you know, we're all pros. We're all like, we have a certain sense. We're smart people. These are truly dishonest people. And not all of them. Not all of them. You have some very good reporters. You have some very fair journalists. But for the most part, honestly, these are really, really dishonest people. And they're bad people. I really think they don't like our country. I really believe that.
Oh, my God.
And I don't believe they're going to change, and that's why I do this. If they would change, I would never say it. Yeah. The only people giving a platform to these hate groups is the media itself and the fake news.
Yeah, now, try Steve Bannon, try Breitbart, try, the Drudge Report, try Fox News, I mean, this is unbelievable to me. This is just amazing, amazing. The media tries to, show you real pictures of people with torches walking down the streets screaming blood and soil and Jews will not replace us. And they're breathlessly, telling you they've never seen anything. The United Nations, I just want you to know this. The United Nations has put out a warning to the world. A UN committee that's charged with tackling racism worldwide issued an early warning about America. Now, I want to put this into context for you. The only other countries that have ever had warnings like this issued by the United Nations are Burundi, Iraq, the Ivory Coast, Kyrgyzstan, and Nigeria. Here is what their statement says. It says, "We are alarmed by the racist demonstrations with overly racist slogans, chants, and salutes by white nationalists, neo-Nazis, and Ku Klux Klan promoting white supremacy and inciting racial discrimination and hatred and that there are not two sides, and say to address the root causes of the proliferation of such racist manifestations, it is significant that the United Nations speak out publicly against the actions of the new U.S. administration." This is like real. This isn't, some game. This isn't the great game of war that we want played inside the United States by a president of the United States. This is really serious and sick. And, like I said, it's not people like me who saw it coming. It's now the sorry Republicans. It's the Bob Corkers. It's the Mitch McConnells. And, Mitch McConnell's wife, Elaine Chao, who is our transportation secretary, she was asked whether or not, she took a side. Who's right here? Is your husband, Mitch McConnell, right? Or is the president of the United States, who's exacerbating this mess, right? And she actually, what a freaking opportunist Elaine Chao is. She said, "I stand by my man, both of them." Hey, way to really, be loyal to your husband, Miss Elaine Chao, Mr. McConnell and his Christianity from Kentucky. I stand by my man, both of them. I mean, this is really sick, but people are speaking out, and I got to tell you, last night I got scared silly. When I tell you this idea that Clapper showed up on CNN after midnight.
Oof. What should Washington do at this point? You said you're questioning his fitness. There are many people who are saying it. They won't say it publicly. They don't have the courage that you do. Maybe after this speech they will now. It will become painfully obvious to as it is to most Americans. What should we do?
Well, I think, the key thing here is where is he with Republicans?
Right.
And I was quite struck by Senator Corker's remarks. Very thoughtful and very, very measured. And I know Senator Corker, I've dealt with him, and he is a very thoughtful senator. And he wouldn't say that lightly and without forethought. And I'm hopeful that other similarly thoughtful Republicans will reach the point where enough is enough.
Oh, they're such cowards. And I don't know when enough is going to be enough. They watched this whole thing. I mean, look, maybe they all told themselves this big lie that it was just a campaign, and campaigns by their very nature are divisive, and it's supposed to be because you're a battle with another candidate. Maybe that's it. But the second he became president of the United States and continued this behavior, that should have been, oh, damn, what are we going to do? But it isn't. Paul Ryan defended him just yesterday. Paul Ryan didn't say anything about the president's ridiculous both sides comment on Saturday, nor did he say anything on Tuesday when the president went completely ballistic and started saying there are some very fine Nazis. He didn't say anything until 5 minutes before his CNN town hall on this particular Monday. I mean, last week they said nothing. The Republicans cowered in a corner on their vacations and remained utterly silent. Utterly silent. So maybe now, there's some polling that's starting to come out that says that, Donald Trump has fallen below 80% in the Republican Party. In the approval ratings from his supporters. He's down to 73% today. And, they always say, well, if you go below 80 in your own party, you're in trouble. So now he's at 73%. All of a sudden, I guess, little Paul Ryan and Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz and, maybe even a Lindsey Graham. Well, Lindsey Graham and John McCain, they did say something. But maybe, some of the more staunch supporters of Trump will say, oh, his poll rating sucker. Okay, so we're going to suddenly, grow a spine. But this is deteriorating is what it is. And this is how it culminated. This was the most frightening thing. Is he a threat to national security, the president?
Well, he certainly could be. Having some understanding of the levers that a president can exercise, I worry about, frankly, the access to nuclear codes. If he, in a fit of pique, he decides to do something about Kim Jong-un, there's actually very little to stop him. The whole system's built
on readiness
to ensure a rapid response if necessary. So there's very little in the way of controls over, exercising a nuclear option, which is pretty damn scary.
Let that marinate in your brain. And let me add this. The president does not need permission from Congress to engage in a nuclear strike. We've been through that. We've explored it when he was screaming fire and fury at Kim Jong-un and when he, threatened to, he was locked and loaded, remember? And no, Kim Jong-un didn't back off. This is like the new lie that the right wing is now today saying, of course there's safety valves built into. No, if the president orders a nuclear strike, 4 minutes later, there will be one. That is just the way it is. And anybody who tells you anything different has never served a minute in the military. The president is the president, and when it comes to nukes, he doesn't have to ask anybody anything. And it's all based on readiness. It's all built on rapid response, and it will take 4 minutes to literally launch a nuclear attack, either from a submarine, from a silo in Minot, North Dakota, or from a bomber. Okay? It's just the way it is. Unless the military actually defies the order, and that would be at the peril of the person that defies the order. That's the only safety valve built in. Now, there are two people that it takes to turn keys and to authenticate codes, and if one person says no, the other person gets to shoot them. So you're going to need agreement there in the cockpit, or you're going to need agreement there on the submarine, or you're going to need agreement there in North Dakota in the silo. And that is the way it is. So that was just freaking frightening. And the other thing that they're going to say is that not that it can't happen. There's safety things built in, and that North Korea's backed off. North Korea's backed off. Well, just Google it, and you'll see yesterday Kim Jong-un said he will destroy Guam if anything. And so last night the president was like, I respect that he's starting to take me seriously, because the president is frightened. He's frightened. He doesn't know what he's doing. All right, Jason in Simi Valley.
Randy.
Yeah.
Randy.
Hi.
This is like being in Mistress Randy's house of pain listening to this guy talk. Oh, God, all I can see is he's strapping us down and just making us listen. But what I mean, it's look. Let's be honest. This is heading toward, and I hate to use this specific term, critical mass. Because I think behind the doors, the Republicans are now like going, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?
What are we going to do?" You know what? Let me tell you this. Here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
This Russia investigation isn't going to go away because he gave a rally last night, or because he seemed lucid the day before. It's not going to go away. They are getting closer and closer and closer. Yesterday, they interviewed Glenn Simpson from Fusion GPS for 10 hours behind closed doors at the Senate Intelligence Committee. The president is going nuclear on Mitch McConnell because Mitch McConnell, he wants him to stop the Russia investigation. That is why they are fighting. Okay? And Mitch McConnell has nothing to say about the Russia investigation because it's happening in the Intelligence Committee that is chaired by what's his name? Burr.
Grassley.
No, Burr.
Well, can I make an observation here to game this out a bit? Let us presume for the moment he resigns. Okay? And they try to put a deal in place to get pardons, all right? Pence is going to be faced, we'll have Pence, of course, with a big problem, because if he pardons him, he's done.
Right.
He's finished.
That's right.
And little Marco ain't going to be getting the presidency if he tries to get him. And if he doesn't do it, he'll have the entire base of Trump's loyal zombies wanting his head. So...
Yep.
This, however you game this out right now, it all ends rather badly.
It does, and that's exactly the point, and you are getting it. You are getting it. This army of his, they are armed, okay? They are armed people. They are open carry armed people. Some of them are concealed carry, but for the most part, what we've seen is open armed rebellion. And if anything happens to that precious little, tangerine man, they will start a revolution in this country. At least they'll try to start something very freaking violent. They've been preparing for something for a long time. They haven't had anything to react to. The removal of Trump, that will be their trigger. It isn't good. You're right. No matter how you game this out, it doesn't end well for ordinary Americans who are trying to get into the 21st freaking century. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.